The views and opinions expressed by the speaker, host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by, on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ariva Academy's free live webinar. And our topic this afternoon is really interesting, and I know it will be very helpful for all of our participants. The topic is combating chronic stress, achieving vigor to overcome burnout and fatigue. I'm Kate, and I will be with you the whole afternoon as your host. I'm very excited to learn with all of you. But before we start, I have a few reminders just to make sure that this webinar will be running smoothly. Ariva is committed to protecting your privacy, hence stricter security of this webinar has been implemented. So for better viewing of your Zoom experience, we encourage you to please update your Zoom application by visiting their website. And for those of you who are using their mobile gadgets to view this webinar right now, you can go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store so you can download and install your Zoom app. Now, I want to know, do we have first-time attendees joining an Ariva Academy webinar for the first time? Do we have that? If it is your first time, can you type hi here in the chat box? I'd also love to know, where are you located right now? I'm here in Parañaque City. We're having a very sunny afternoon. How about in your location? Do we have participants who are within Metro Manila or out of Metro Manila, outside Metro Manila, somewhere in Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao? I know I have participants viewing us from out of town. Let me acknowledge them, our friends who are viewing us all the way from Batanes. Wow, from Cagayan Valley. We have participants who are from Nueva Vizcaya. Some are in Baguio, some are in Pangasinan. We have friends from Benguet, from Bataan, from Pampanga, from Zambales. We have participants viewing us from Tarlac, from Nueva Ecija, from Ilocos Sur, from Ilocos Norte, from Cagayan de Oro. We have from Misamis Oriental, from Lanao del Norte, from Negros, from Guimaras, from Iloilo, from Leyte, from Marawi, from Bohol, from Cebu, from Laguna, from Agusan del Norte, from Agusan del Sur, also from Davao. We have from Kidapawan City, from Coronadal. We have from Polomolok, from Sultan Kudarat, from Surigao, Basilan, and even Tawi-Tawi. We have a lot of participants watching us from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Good afternoon, Philippines. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Also, aside from participants who are viewing us from the Philippines, yes, we have friends who are outside the Philippines right now who's with us this afternoon. I also would like to greet our friends who are from Malaysia, from Singapore. We have from Papua New Guinea, from Thailand, from Cambodia, from Seychelles, Africa, from Qatar, from Saudi, from UAE, from Italy, from Nigeria, from Tanzania, from Korea, even from Nepal and Pakistan. Good afternoon, Philippines. Good afternoon, world. I'm very happy to be with all of our participants this afternoon. And if ever you've attended in the past, welcome back and thank you for still being here with us. Now, I want to do an audio check. Okay, I want to make sure that wherever you are here in the world, you will be able to hear the discussion loud and clear. So can you type 111 here in the chat box if you can hear me clearly? You can type 222 if you can't hear anything. Or you can type 2121 if you can hear me, but the sound that you're hearing is laggy or it's breaking up. Or you can type question mark if you don't understand what is happening. And we will try to help you out. Let me check the chat box. I am seeing a lot of 111s. Thank you so much for that. Now we'll have a 5-minute break as we go along our discussion, and that break time will be exciting, okay? So watch out for that. And as early as now, let me invite you to be a part of the Ariva Academy Viber community, because during the break time, we have an exciting activity, but it will be exclusive for those of you who have joined the Ariva Academy Viber community. So, before we start, please scan the QR code so you can already be part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. Okay, looking forward to seeing you there and look forward to that break time. Now, participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by our administrator during the discussion just to avoid interruptions. But for those of you who might have questions, I'm sure as we go along the way, you will have questions. You can click the raise hand button during our Q&A portion, and then we will allow you to ask your question directly to our speaker. Or you can also type your questions here in the chat box, and then during the Q&A portion, I will be reading them. An e-certificate of attendance will be awarded to participants who will successfully complete the entire virtual masterclass, and they will be available 3 to 5 working days after the learning session. So for you to ensure that you will really receive the e-certificate, please make sure that the email address you gave us is accurate, okay? And make sure you fill out the feedback form that we will be posting in the chat box before we end our session. So there you have it. I am sure you're eager to get this started. I'm also eager to get this started. So for us to get to know our speaker, let's watch this video. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our speaker, Coach Suzette Siapno.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone, from all our participants from all over the world. Good afternoon to you. And actually, Miss Kate, good afternoon. We have such powerful words in the title of our webinar today, right? And I'm sure everyone is excited with all the stresses that we've been experiencing the past few months, probably even years. Now is really your time to know new techniques on how to combat chronic stress.
Yes, very exciting. And I'm sure we will really be relieved after listening to you today, this afternoon.
Since this is only going to be an hour and a half talk, I will start sharing my slides. And we were talking about the title, Miss Kate. While I am preparing to share my slides, may I invite everyone to please type in the chat box what word excites you the most from our program title. So let me now share my slides. And while I am doing that, kindly type it in.
Let's use the chat box. Type in your answer. Okay, now the chat box is moving too fast. I'm seeing overcome, combat stress, vigor, wow, combating, overcome, handling fatigue, stress-free. So those are the words that we're seeing right now. Burnout, achieve. Overcome is most number of words.
Okay. And I believe everyone really wanted to overcome this fears, anger, burnout, anxiety. And let's begin. You're now seeing my slides. And thank you for the words that you've chosen. You're right, Miss Kate. Majority of it is overcoming, right?
Yes.
Stress management approaches, combating stress, stress-free, avoid the stressor, and a lot more. Now I'm wondering, where does that word or statement here in our title be? But anyway, I know that some of you also have written there your expectations from this 1.5 hour talk. So let's begin. As we can see here, our title, let me start off by sharing with you. Okay, picture this. The day before my operation, I woke up and then I found myself covered in hives. Buong katawan ko talaga puno ng hives. And I was thinking, grabe, ang tagal kong hinintay itong clearance. It took me months to prepare for this operation, and then suddenly there are hives all over my body. How can I now push through with that operation? And now thinking and looking back, I was in so much stress at that time, and it's not actually only that time where I felt the stress. No, and actually, it has been bothering me for months and even years, and it only showed up the day before my operation. This is what chronic stress, or even stress for that matter, affects our health. No, even subconsciously, it's there. Even if you're not doing anything, you're trying to manage your emotions. There are times wherein it doesn't work. It really takes practice, and I can say that during that time, I wasn't able to do much. And also, just like everyone here, I've been in the airline industry for 25 years. So 25 years of also thinking of how can I help the passengers when an emergency happens. So how can I deplane everyone, 403 passengers in the plane when some unfortunate things happen? What else are my stresses at that time? And of course, being in the airline industry, sometimes there are pilot strikes. You're not really sure kung gaano ka katagal sa kumpanya, and I have survived, luckily, 2 pilot strikes, and I was retrenched for how many times? 2 times. So imagine the stress that I have experienced. And I'm sure a lot of you share the same sentiment when it comes to job security. And what else? Ang dami, too many to mention if we'll talk here about the stresses that I have experienced. But the good news is, in this 1 hour and a half webinar, you would be able to have a deeper understanding of chronic stress as a psychosocial strain. Okay? And how can we now go about it? And a lot of you mentioned a while ago, you found the word vigor as something interesting. And of course, it's in our title. So let's talk about vigor first. What for you is vigor? How do you define it? So for the Filipinos that are attending right now, ano ba yung Tagalog version ng vigor? For those of you who are coming from other countries, I will just translate it in English. But for now, ano ba ang ibig sabihin para sa atin ng vigor? So it says here, lakas. Oh, that's power. Yes. What else? Sigla.
La.
Energy. Wow, June mentioned abtik. Okay, is that
I'm not familiar with that word, Coach.
That's a new word for me. Okay, you're learning new things every day. Sigla. Okay. Kakayahan. Sigla. Okay. Enthusiasm and what else?
Someone said abtik is a Visayan word.
Oh, I see. And which means energy?
Sigla. Sigla is abtik in Visaya. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that word.
It's nice to learn new things every day. So yeah. So how now do we achieve that sigla, that lakas, that power? Now, if you look it up in the dictionary, it will show you vigor as an active strength or energy of body and mind. Or it's also an intensity of action or effect. So tama naman lahat ng naisulat dyan, no, di ba, Ms. Kate? But one of my favorite definition or explanation of vigor is that of Professor Ariva. So he was the one who made a study between what's the connection, no, between vigor and our work output. And he said that a positive affective response, this is what he thinks of vigor, it's a positive affective response to one's ongoing interactions with the significant elements in one's job and work environment that comprises of a lot of things. It could be interconnected feelings of physical strength, emotional energy, and cognitive liveliness. So hindi lamang ito nararamdaman sa lakas ng katawan mo, kung hindi sa lakas din both of your body and mind. It's not only the physical strength that we're talking about here, we're also talking here about how well you manage your emotions and the things that you process in your mind. And as a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, for those of you who are not familiar with NLP, it's basically understanding the language of the mind for you to be able to achieve the results that you want. In this case, our goal, our common goal, is to combat chronic stress. What are we going to talk about? So we're going to understand chronic stress, and I'll be giving you 3 powerful techniques of healing chronic stress. One is, of course, the HBRT process or framework. I'm also going to share with you the sunny set of mind. And the third one would be the emotional freedom technique, which is very popular nowadays. So let's define first what stress is. So when we talk about stress, it is the feeling we have under pressure. And when we feel this, our body sends out signals. It's the way our body responds to any kind of demand. That's stress. Okay. So when do we feel stress? If I ask you now, when do you feel stress? What triggers stress for you? So could probably be money, could probably be deadlines. Yes, Melanie. Okay. If there are turmoils, unresolved due dates, traffic, meeting, I believe hour and a half webinar will not be enough time for us to gather all your answers. But thank you. I really appreciate that. Conflicts, toxic workmate. Okay. pag wala ng budget or if there are no budget. Now, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. Everybody goes through that. Now, what I want everyone to realize is that stress, when you're unable to manage it and let it stay for a long time, then it becomes what we call chronic stress. It's a prolonged and constant feeling of stress. And given that, it's unhealthy because just think of, let's think of a situation wherein you're too much stress and then you're activating all the hormones and also the neurons in your brain, such as what we call the amygdala. You know, during our training, when I was a flight attendant, we have trainings for crisis management. And so we get also an emergency procedures wherein we get to practice hands-on the commands that we're going to say in case of an emergency. And so after that practice, we were being graded. And then we were talking about the training, how it went. Meron kaming ongoing joke. And we were always saying, ay, grabe, na-trigger yung amygdala ko. No? Because amygdala is the one responsible for letting us know whether to fight or to fly. Fight or flight, tawag nila, whenever we are in a stressful situation. And that's important for us to also know, are we already experiencing chronic stress? Now, I'll begin showing you here some questions and then do a self-assessment. Okay? Are you often moody or irritated? Yes or no? Type in the chat box if you're comfortable sharing it. Yes, yes, yes. Ay, ang dami natin. Does it feel like you're always worrying about something? Yung yes na maraming S, gusto ko yun. Okay? Does it feel like you're always worrying about something? Ang dami pa rin yes. Does it seem like you don't have time, okay, to take care of yourself or do the things that you enjoy? Okay? May isang nag-no, good job. Yes, sometimes. It's a good answer. Yes, meron. Okay, next one. Do the smallest inconveniences seem like too much to handle? Simpleng bagay, pinapalaki. Simpleng bagay, ino-overanalyze. Some of you are saying no to this question. Some of you are saying sometimes, most of the time. Okay, meron yung sometimes, biglang naisip niya, ay hindi palagi pala, kaya most of the time na lang. That's okay. So sometimes. Next one. Do you always seem to catch colds or get infections? This is also a symptom of you being under or experiencing chronic stress. So some of you are saying yes or no. Have you been relying on unhealthy coping mechanisms like alcohol or food to manage your stress? Some of you answered yes, sometimes a resounding no, a resounding yes. And so what I need you to understand is that it's okay to say yes to some of these questions here, as long as you don't let it stay in your mind for a long time. Because what happens if we keep on entertaining these thoughts and answer yes most of the time, it doesn't go away? Ano yung nangyayari sa body natin? So chronic stress triggers a stress response to our bodies. So whenever we are stressed, aside from the amygdala that I have mentioned, a part of our brain receives a threatening signal, which triggers the release of what we call adrenaline. Are you familiar with adrenaline? Oh, Starbucks daw. Ano pa yun nandito? Daanan lang, wag. Ay, maganda yun. Daanan lang, wag tambayan. So, in English, don't stay for it for a long time. Don't stay whatever it is. It's stressing you for a long time. Okay. So here, since a lot of you are mentioning that you're familiar with adrenaline, whenever we feel stressed or a part of our brain receives yung threatening signal, yung neurotransmitter na yan ay linalabas. Kagaya rin ng amygdala, ang adrenaline, pagka yan lumabas, ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na nagtitrigger sa atin ng fight or flight response. So like for example, nakakita kayo ng shark habang nasa Boracay kayo. You're very smooth sailing yung boat na sinasakyan ninyo. Anong response nyo doon? Fight or flight? Of course, flight response, di ba? Pag naubusan ka na ng pera, fight ba o flight? Naubusan ka na, petsa di peligro na. Fight ba tayo or flight? Adrenaline causes high blood pressure. Fight, no? Laban, fighting pa rin, pagkasahin and all. And so, when the adrenaline hormone is triggered, what happens is that makikita na ninyo externally na makikita na rin na ibang tao, dilated pupils natin, we have flushed skin, we are trembling. Tama yung sinabi dito kanina, HB or parang feeling mo high blood ka. And of course, we do not want that. A good study here, nice study to ponder on is that according to Gallup World Poll, it says here 67% of Philippine population suffer from stress. Marami yan. Ang Pilipinas, na top niya ang poll, followed by the US, who garnered 43%. Ang kagandahan dito, what's nice with this is that there's confidence in saying na, okay, hindi lang pala ako yung nakaka-experience nito. I'm not the only one who's experiencing chronic stress or stress for that matter. And given that stress can have or trigger such symptoms that I've discussed earlier, do you think that stress is a positive or a negative thing? Can you type in the chat box? So it depends. I like that answer, Melanie. It depends. So both, yes. So a lot of you here is saying both, and that's a good one. I haven't seen here answers that says yes. No, it's negative. It's stress. Oftentimes it's negative. It cannot be positive. So I like that you're putting in answers here. Both neutral. It all depends on how you handle the situation. I second that. So there are two types of stress. So the first type of stress is what we call eustress. Eustress is a stress that inspires us, that motivates us. It's a short term, but it helps us a lot when it comes to overcoming also chronic stress. It feels exciting. So examples of this stresses are what? Think of something that motivates you, that inspires you, that keeps you going even when you're tired. Ano yung nakaka-inspire sa inyo, nakaka-motivate sa inyo, even if you're experiencing stresses already? Learning from stress, what else? So you stresses in your life. Family could be stressful, right? Especially those who are clingy. No, I just want to mention, my daughter now is 28 years old, and I still see her as my baby. Only child kasi siya. And so I would text her every time, I would call her every time, and I hope she's experiencing eustress, but I for sure am experiencing eustress, especially if I cannot reach her, diba? What else? Putting stress to improve. Payday is also an example of eustress. Preparing for your wedding, preparing for the things that you have to learn because you're promoted. So all of these types of stresses, it's okay. It's a positive stress. Now let's talk about this stress, or what we call the negative stress. This is not what we want, but do you have examples of distresses in your life? We talk about distress. It's a type of stress that is constant and also emotionally and psychologically draining. So that's when it becomes a distress. It causes also anxiety. It causes also fatigue. So I'm reading here deadlines a while ago. Huge medical bills, of course. Work environment, deadlines. What else? Expectations. A death of a loved one is another one. Or a toxic boss. So we're lucky if we only have one of the things that you've mentioned, but there are times you're experiencing all of that, all of this stresses at the same time. Relationships could be another one. Finances could be another one. So before we are able to manage stress, we have to first understand the difference between pressure and stress. Are you pressured or are you stressed? Now, you're looking here at questions. Just type in the chat box kung ano sa tingin ninyo yung question that indicates that you are pressured or stressed if you answered yes. Okay, so let's start with letter A. Type in letter A, type in P if you think, or S, if you think that letter A is P or S. Type it in the chat box. Okay. Am I feeling overwhelmed by the demands upon me? So a lot of you are saying P, that indicates pressure. Okay. A lot of you are typing in P. What about the second one? Do I feel I have to produce a specific result? Doon na tayo sa pangalawa. Do you think it's stress or pressure? P and S. Okay, P and S. So this is an aha moment. This is an aha moment for a lot of us because A is indicative of stress, and B is indicative of pressure. It says here, stress is a feeling of being overwhelmed by the demands of external realities. Yung pressure, halimbawa, meron kang KPI na hinahabol, may turnaround time ka kailangan i-beat, may important goal kang kailangan ma-achieve, there's that pressure for you to do well. And this is something that you put on yourself. Ang stress, majority of the stresses that we experience, galing yan sa external realities of life. And the important distinction between pressure and stress is kung ano ba ang hinihingi ng situation sa inyo. So, aha moment for us. Ganun pala yun, pagka feeling overwhelmed ka by the demands, the stress. But if you put it upon yourself to do well, to please others, comparing yourself with others and would want to achieve the same happiness or the same purchase, that's adding pressure to yourself. Now, pag ang pressure inipon ninyo para kayong bulkan na sasabog. Because it's something specific, it's something that you can control. And when you do that, kinimkim nyo na lahat, then stress now will happen because of the accumulated pressures na binigay mo sa sarili mo that you put in yourself. And so when these pressures go over a threshold, napuno ka na, it's too much for you to handle, then you go into stress. We now focus from having that control to feeling helpless, that you can't do anything about it anymore. That's why you shout. That's why you project or exude negative emotions towards others. I just remember one incident that happened when we were selling duty-free items on the aisle. Diba, no? When you travel, flight attendants usually sell duty-free items. And then my partner was really so upset kasi nung nag-inventory na kami, short yung pera namin. So we're short of $150. And so I said, oh, it's okay. Let's do it again and then see ano yung na-overlook natin. So all those times I was really computing, and then my partner said, hindi sabi niya, may mali dito. Hindi naman tayo dapat na short. Kasi lagi naman ako, I do this all the time and I never encounter this problem. So I didn't say anything. I just kept on computing and really finding ways on how to understand bakit nagkaroon ng $150. And she kept on yakking. She kept on triggering me. It's as if I felt at that time that she was blaming me. And so I was not saying anything. And then the last straw was, binilang mo ba yung sukli mo doon sa passenger, let's say 48? That was the last straw. And I shouted at her. And of course, the rest was history. We were called by the management at all. I was so young at that time, really didn't know much about managing stress. And so we talked it out. And then now I realized, sana pala nilabas ko, sana kinausap ko. I said my piece. I told her that I was offended when she said that. Because if I did that, hindi ko inipon yung pressure. Hindi sana ako sumabog. And this is a nice quote from a Stafford University psychologist, Miss Kelly McGonigal. She said that when you choose to view your stress response as helpful, you create the biology of courage. When you choose to connect with others under stress, you can create resilience. Napakaganda nitong sinabi niya. Kasi pag nakikita mo raw ang stress as something that can help you achieve something, achieve your goal, or take it as a challenge, then that's good. It's giving you that courage to face those problems or concerns, what have you. And also, when you're under a lot of stress, sometimes, or most of the time, a lot of us just want to isolate ourselves. We're different, we are built in different ways. But what Miss Kelly McGonigal here is saying is when you're under stress, it's nice also to connect with other people. It helps you it helps you be resilient. So when we talk about stress, the product of this can also be burnout. And when we talk about burnout, marami sa atin nakaka-experience nito. Proof of it was when I asked you what stresses you out, then you've mentioned a lot of factors and elements. But did you know, ito pa na additional trivia, did you know that anong country tayo, Manila, Philippines, belong to the top 5 most burned out cities in the world. So binigay ko yung number 5. It's Manila. Ano sa palagay ninyo yung top country who experiences burnout? You are right. Tokyo is the number 1 country. What about the next one? Tokyo is number 1. Mumbai. Very good. Thank you for the answers. And also, what about the third one? Seoul, Korea. And also, the 4th one would be Istanbul. At kasama tayo sa pang-5. Hindi na tayo magtataka what causes our burnout. Could be what? Could be overtime, right? Could be doing repetitive tasks that we are not sure of. Kulang tayo sa knowledge. Probably also in terms of the way we connect with others, the way we communicate. Probably it's challenging at times. Also living in a third world country, marami rin sa atin walang nice place to stay. Probably a lot of things. Could be a lot of things. And when we talk about burnout, it is defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. Pagod ka na. Dahil ikaw ay sobrang under stress or you're experiencing chronic stress and you don't know how to manage it. It also occurs when you're overwhelmed. You don't know how to prioritize things. You just take things as it comes. You solve things as it comes. You never prepare. That's why you are unable to meet the constant demands of either your work or also in your personal life. So the core symptom of burnout is exhaustion, kapaguran. And there's this feeling of being energetically depleted by job demands, meaning nawawala ang sigla mo. Nawawala ang vigor mo. And it's a major driver of depression. And when we talk about depression, there are different levels, and it's also considered as an illness when it comes to mental health. But what I want you to realize here is that we have what we call the mental health continuum. When we're talking here about mental health problems, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Let's say, nangumusta ka ng kaibigan mo. Tapos sinabi sa'yo, kumusta na si Brian or si Marie? Anong balita mo sa kanya? Yung balita ko, may mental health issues siya. What's your assumption or what do you think of that statement? Lalo na, especially here in the Philippines, when you say, may mental health issues siya. Yes, so depression. Yes, I like this, May. No? Going crazy na siya. Ano pa? Depressed, baliw. Okay, crazy in English, what else? Depression. But here's the thing. When we talk about mental health, or the state of our mental health, it's a continuum. And it starts, of course, with having, ito yung goal natin, a healthy state of mental health. So that's the ideal one. Next to it would be the reacting phase, okay, or reacting. And then the next one would be injured, and the last one would be illness. So iba-ibang estado ng mental health ng iba't ibang tao. So, stressed here, okay, depression. When we talk about having a healthy mental health, okay, what does it mean? It means that generally satisfied ka naman sa buhay mo. Wala ka masyadong iniisip. You're able to do things the way you wanted it to be. You're coming across to other people as the way you expected it to be. So healthy yan. Next one would be what we call reacting. When you are at this stage, you show some distress, and you also at times have that inability to cope pagka ikaw ay nakakaharap na ng stressful situations. But you are still capable of performing daily functions. You arrive to work on time. You're still able to take care of your kids, doing their their own online work or assignments. Normal ang daily functions mo. However, there's that feeling of distress already. The third phase now is what we call the injured phase. Ano naman yung characteristics nito? You show distress and inability to cope over a longer period of time and are not easily alleviated by your typical coping strategies. So let's say one of your coping strategies would be doing meditations or praying. Pag nasa injured phase ka na, hindi na nag-work yun at mas matagal ka nang nasa distress phase. Therefore, it starts to have an impact on performing daily life functions. So struggling, simply take rest. Thank you for your tips here. I like that we are interactive this way, giving tips to one another. Just type it in. So ito, simula pa lang ng papunta ka pa lang sa tinatawag nating ill state of mental health. When we say that we're already at the ill state of mental health, we are already unable to cope with stress and exhibit significant changes in our thoughts, behaviors. Nagiging paranoid na tayo. We think that everyone is against us or has something negative to say about us, and even our actions are affected. Our symptoms can be significant and prolonged that needs the support of professionals. But the beauty of knowing that these different states go on a continuum, ang tanong ko sa inyo, pag halimbawa lang inassess nyo yung sarili. You assess yourself and you feel that you are at the injured state. No? Injured state na tayo. Nasa injured state ka na. Kailangan mo bang ituloy hanggang maging ill state ka na? Yes or no? Yes or no? You're already at the injured state. Slowly, you're not able to function well. You're correct. Definitely not. Kaya nga siya continuum eh. Kasi pwede kang sa isang araw mentally healthy, pero sa isang ibang araw may problema tayo. No? We become, we go onto that phase, no? Yung illness part ng mental health natin. But since this is a continuum, hindi siya no, parang chess game. Na pag nandito ka na, okay, hindi na ako pwede bumalik. Pwede. At yun ang kagandahan ng alam natin, we know the different phases of the status of our mental health. Secondly, we no longer assume that if a person is struggling with his or her mental health, hindi mo yung isipin agad, ay baliw-baliwan to. Yung nang kausapin yan, may something siya. So we don't judge other people that way. Kasi alam natin na, okay, kung nandun na siya sa last phase, then she would be needing professional help. But if she's, let's say, he or she's in the injured or reacting, kaya pa niyang i-manage yan through a lot of things. Could be positive habits, no? Marami tayong pwedeng gawin. And what's most helpful is for us to identify ano ba ang kailangan natin para hindi natin maramdaman ang stress. So meron tayong tinatawag na Maslow's hierarchy of needs or commonly called as MHN. Now, it's important for us to understand ano ba yung mga dapat na ibigay natin sa ating sarili para hindi tayo ma-stress? What are the things that we need to give ourselves or to practice so that we won't be stressed? And no, makikita nyo dito, hierarchical siya. Hierarchical. So pag-usapan natin, ngayon sa tingin ba ninyo, ano dapat ang nasa pinaka-top ng pyramid na to? Kala ko may sasagot sa inyo na, ma'am, pinaka-importante sa buhay natin ngayon ay, wala nyo kung ano, Wi-Fi. Tama, hindi. Tama, mali. Wi-Fi ba? Wi-Fi, pag yan pinatay mo Wi-Fi, lalabas lahat ng tao sa bahay. That's the time magko-connect kayo, di ba? Sino ang nabiktima ng Facebook outage 2 days ago? Type in me kung kayo ay na-stress. Okay, me, financial, me. Yan. Kaya nga ba sabi ko dapat papalitan na ata natin ito, hindi na self-actualization yung nasa taas Dapat ata ito technology, Wi-Fi, Facebook, Instagram. But of course, I'm just kidding. We need to ultimately satisfy yung physiological needs natin. So ano yung physiological needs natin? Pagkain, comfortable place to sleep, okay? Food, water, rest, very good. And the next one would be that feeling of being safe and secure. So ibig sabihin, anong papasok dito sa stage na to? Safety. What could make you feel safe? May sweldo ka, may savings ka, may insurance ka para pag nagkasakit ka. Shelter, government, yeah. Financial stability is correct. Good answers there. Now we go to the next need here. We see here love, belonging. Kailangan ba maramdaman, bigyan rin natin yung chance natin na magmahal at mahalin? Next. Tama mali. O yung mga may hugot dyan. Kailangan. So kung halimbawa lang nakita natin, kulang tayo dito, let's find a way on how to, nurture our relationships, build rapport with others. Sana all, sabi dito, yes, the best. So kung halimbawa lang, you're not in a relationship na healthy, nag-break kayo, it's okay. Pero wag magtagal dun sa feeling na yun. Makakahanap naman tayo ng iba. Tama? Amen, sabi. Next would be esteem. Kailangan natin na nasasabihan kung tayo ay may magandang nagawa. That sense of achievement really motivates us and inspires us. That's why we do the same thing to others. Kailangan natin yun, ibigay din natin sa iba yun. Huwag po tayong maging madamot sa praises, lalo na pag talagang deserve naman ng tao na pinagbibigyan natin. You're right, give recognition in the same way that we like to be recognized with the things that we do well. Okay. And the last one would be self-actualization. This means to say that we are confident, okay, with ourselves that we are giving this self-care needs importance. So, yan rin ang isa sa dapat nating isipin. We need also that sense of morality. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi maganda ang reputasyon natin dahil pinapangalagaan natin ito. And why is this at the topmost? Yung acceptance that we are, na mabuting tao tayo, na may integridad tayo, napakataas ng level niya. Kasi pag ito ang nawala, it's so hard to go about your daily tasks. Kasi at the back of your mind, okay, ito pala yung isip sa akin, ito pala yung tingin sa akin. So sabi ni Elaine, need muna ma-suffice yung nasa bottom bago ma-achieve. Yes, that's why it's hierarchical. And the reason why I started from the bottom going to the top. Sound trip daw para ma-relax. Yan. So aside from MHN, any questions with MHN? I love how a lot of you are putting or throwing your thoughts in the chat box. Become the best version of yourself or self-actualization. That's correct. So aside from this, we also, okay, have what we call psychosocial needs. So ano ba yung psychosocial needs? From the word, intindi muna natin, no? From the word psych, it means these are needs, okay, that's coming from you, from yourself. Okay? Ito yung mga nakukuha mo, depende sa galing mo gawin ng mga bagay-bagay. Lahat nakadepende sa iyo para makuha mo o maramdaman mo ang isang bagay. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na social or the environment in which we live. So when we talk about psychosocial needs or what we call the me needs, ito yung mga bagay na na-achieve natin sa sarili nating sikap. So number 1 dyan would be initiative. Ang initiative ba pwedeng manggaling sa boss? Yes or no? Pwede? No. Kailangan manggaling yan sa atin. Ang self-worth ba? Ang self-worth. Pwede ba yung manggaling sa asawa mo? Ang self-worth? Hindi. Manggagaling yan sa'yo. Kahit na ano pa ang sabihin ng ibang tao sa inyo. No matter what other people say about you, it all boils down to keeping or having that self-worth. What else here? Let's choose a few more. Independence, natural sa atin yan. Autonomy sa atin lang din, manggagaling yan. Meron naman tayong needs na makukuha natin through the environment that we live in. So let's say synergy. Kaya mo bang mag-isa ma-achieve ang synergy? Kaya nga synergy eh. Ibig sabihin, you collaborate with others, right? What else? How about that feeling of intimacy? Intimacy, kailangan natin ng ibang tao. No man is an island, Mary. It's a good one. Equal treatment, dependability. Ito yung mga needs na makukuha natin galing sa ibang tao or sa environment natin. Bakit importante na malaman natin ito? Kasi this will help us manage our emotions. Para hindi lagi mainitin ang ulo natin, it's giving us a time to pause, a time to assess. How to take initiative is another benefit of knowing the psychosocial needs as well as the MHN. How you follow through on commitments is another one. It's about relationship management. Syempre, kung meron ka sinasabi, dapat you be true to your commitment. That way, it will enhance your dealings with other people, which, of course, a lot of us are stressed on that part. Pag ginawa natin yun, the less stressful for us. And it also helps us adapt to changing circumstances. Ngayon, hindi na natin alam kung after the pandemic, we save more now? Yes? Mas nagtitipid ba tayo ngayon? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. Sa nangyari, sa pandemya, yes. Kasi alam natin na sa isang iglap, pwede pa lang 2 taon na wala tayong trabaho, 2 taon na walang pumapasok na pera, even close to 3. Even now, a lot of people are still affected with the pandemic. So always do a self-care check. Are my basic needs met? Do I feel safe? Do I feel like I belong? Do I feel confident and good about myself? Am I living my best life? The expected answer there would be yes. I need you to answer a lot of yeses with the questions that I have shared a while ago. Kailangan yung self-check natin, mataas ang yes factor natin dyan. Yes, with a lot of S, I'm saying yes, sir, good job. Paano pag no, Miss Suzette? That's the real thing with me now. I seem to have answered no in all of those aspects. We have what we call the grounding exercise. So if you are having panic attacks, you're having high blood pressure nyo, tumataas, di nyo talaga kinakaya ang mga pangyayari, I suggest that you do this, what we call the grounding exercise with our 5 senses. So now, I would like everyone to think of 5 things that you are seeing at the moment. When you talk about grounding, it's being present at the moment. So what are 5 things that you can see or are able to see right now? Can you type in the chat box? Pay attention to 5 things that you are seeing right now. I want you to pay attention, not too much of the typing, but really paying attention. Could be the computer in front of you, could be the chair in front of you, could be your boss on the other side of the room. So computer, papers, okay? Mas maganda kung mag-focus din tayo sa labas. Kung meron kayong window dyan, focus on the trees, focus on the sun, right? Okay, ano ba yung mga nakikita yan? Workstation, what else? A picture probably of a family member. So that's an example of grounding. Okay, ano pa? Mug, keyboard, tumbler, cell phone, plant, electrician. Good. Next, I want you to think of 4 things that you can feel. Focus on 4 things that you can feel. What are 4 things that you can feel? Yes, the wind, the air. You're so lucky because not everyone experiences that. When they're in the workplace, usually naka-aircon, wala talagang hangin, di ba? Aircon, okay, what else? Anything that you can feel? So probably your mouse pad, probably a flower that's beside you, nasa workplace mo. Anything else? The coolness of the air condition, the keyboard. Okay, earbuds, comfy chair. Okay, great. Now I want you to focus on the 3 things, okay? 3 things that you can hear naman. 3 things that you can hear. Okay, music, Coach Suzette. Okay. What else? So mag-isip tayo ng 3 bagay. So aside from me, ano pa yung naririnig mo? Right now, I can hear the aircon also a little bit, its vibration. I can hear that. What else? The sound of the electric fan as well. Si Miss Suzette, taga-hot flashes, may aircon na may electric fan pa. Totoo po yan. Okay, tingnan natin. Sound of the printer. Nakakatuwa, meron naglagay dito, nagmamarites. So for those of you who don't understand marites in the Philippines, we how do you translate that? Yung pagmamarites. Or gossiping. And gossiping. Ano bang balita? Okay. The sound of a typewriter or your heartbeat. Great. Now, I want you to focus on two things that you can smell naman. That you can smell. Two things that you can smell. Coffee. Wow, I love that. What else? Wow, halos lahat. Coffee, perfume. Okay, food and coffee. Nakakagutom naman yan. Perfume, coffee, alcohol. Oh, similar lahat, ha? Longganisa, ano yan? Lokban, vegan, pinugutom ako. Inhaler, essential oils. Wow. Okay, yung yung peppermint, deodorizer, and coffee. Good, great job. And the last thing I want you to focus on is that one thing that you can taste. Probably be a mint. Wag lang yung kinain nyo kahapon. Baka lalasaan nyo pa yung kinain nyo kahapon, ha? Okay, focus on the things that you can taste right now. So could be you're having dessert probably. So kaya may nagsagot dito. Okay, what else? Chocolate, coffee, yes. Well, sometimes we're too busy that we forget to use our five senses. You agree? Sobra tayong busy. Wala nang tayong time i-appreciate yung mga bagay, mga simpleng bagay na ine-enjoy natin. So we're always on the go. We keep on wanted to check, give a check mark on our to-do lists. Marami tayong gustong gawin. Now, this grounding exercise, whenever you feel that you're in panic mode, you're starting to get paranoid, you're being anxious, you're being stressed out, stop and do this exercise. So we are learning a lot. Are we learning a lot? Kindly type in SFSG if we are so far so good. Learning a lot, loving what we are seeing in the chat box. Great. Thank you so much. It's 2:49. We'll be having a short break. So Miss Kate will be making some announcements.
Yes, thank you so much, Coach. We'll see you in a little while. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are now going on our break. Okay, and I mentioned a while ago that something exciting will be happening during this break time, and this is it. I, again, would like to invite everyone to be a part of our Viber community because we are going to play a game and it will be exclusive for those who are part of the Viber community. So again, scan this QR code or join by typing 0917-325-7870. That will instantly bring you inside our Viber community. This game is open not just for our Zoom participants, but also for those who are viewing us via the live streams. Okay? So it's open to everyone watching this free live webinar, but it will be exclusive for those who are part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. So there. Further instructions, you'll have to be sending a message to RV Ariva. RV Ariva is our Viber community admin. So look for RV Ariva there, and that is where you will be sending your message. The answer for our game. Okay, and the game is called Guess the Movie. So this is how we will be playing this game. We will be showing you short clips or short trailers of some movies. And this is what you have to do. You have to send the complete and correct title of that movie to RV Ariva, our Viber community admin. Okay? Viber community admin RV Ariva. That is where you will be sending your answer. And if you're the first one to get it right, what will happen? You will be receiving your prize, and the prize is 200 pesos that will go straight to your GCash account. There you go. That's exciting. And we will have 2 winners for this game. Okay. Now, for you guys to get the feel of the game, we'll be doing a trial run. Okay, so I want you to start guessing the title of this movie even without a prize. Let's watch it.
Is changing. Soon there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man
Step into the spotlight.
with a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
There you go. You are seeing how fast the chat box is moving. But I am seeing answers from the live stream and from our Zoom participants in the chat box. I will be disregarding those answers. I've mentioned that this will be exclusive for those who are part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. So make sure when you send your answer, it has to be via Viber. Send it to RV. Okay, Ariva. There you go. Let me check the answers. Going through the Viber chat now. I'm seeing Wakanda. We have a Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. There is Wakanda Forever. There is the Black Panther. We also have a Black Panther only. So those are the answers. I'm seeing also Beauty and the Beast. Janella, did you watch the same movie that we've just seen? So those are the answers that I've seen here in the chat box. Let's see. What's the title of that movie? It is Black Panther. Okay, so most of you got it, but again, I'd like to remind everyone, we are looking for the complete and correct title of that movie. That means there should be no extra words. There should be no missing words. Okay, it has to be the exact title. The good thing, this is just the trial run. Now, this next clip will give you 200 pesos. Make sure you get it right, okay? Let's watch it. Okay, let me check. We have White House down. We have White House. We have Olympus. Angel has fallen. We also have London has fallen. Olympus is fallen. So different answers here. I am still seeing answers via the chat box and via the live stream chat box. Again, please make sure you only send your answer via Viber. The answers, if it's somewhere else, it will be disregarded. Sayang yung chance for you to get the 200 pesos. It will only be given through Viber. Okay, so let's reveal what is the title of that movie. It is Angel Has Fallen. And the first one who got it right, we have She Don Diego. Congratulations, She. You are our first winner and you will be receiving 200 pesos from Ariva Academy. So this is what you have to do. You have to send your GCash account number to us. Send it still in Viber. Look for RV Ariva. Okay, so just send the GCash account number and expect your prize. We'll be sending it to you in a little while. Congratulations, She. Now, She, because you've won already, you will not be able to join the game anymore so that we can give chance to your other co-participants. Okay, again, congratulations. And to the rest of our participants, we have one more 200 pesos to give away this afternoon. So it might be yours. Let's watch this next clip.
In these streets, I never trusted anybody but you. I'm asking you, man. Bad boys.
One last time. One last time.
I'm the definition of half man, half drugs. Ass the clubs, bad boy, that's what's up.
He's driving through a mall.
We're not just black, we're cops too. We'll pull ourselves over later.
It's official. I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continue.
Okay, the answers. I'm seeing a lot of different answers here. In Viber, we have Bad Boys 2, Okay, it's moving too fast, trying to catch up. I'm seeing Men in Black, Bad Boys. There is Bad Boys Forever. We have Bad Boys 3. We have other answers. Legend. Bad Boys 2. The Bad Boys. Fast and Furious. Bad Boys for Life. Other answers. Okay, Super Twins. That's a unique answer. So those are the answers that I am seeing. Okay, let's see. What is the title of that movie? And yes, it is Bad Boys for Life. And the first one who got it right, we have Jeremy as our winner. Jeremy, congratulations. You will also receive 200 pesos from Ariva Academy. Jeremy, send your GCash account number again. Send it to RV Ariva, our Viber community admin. And we'll be waiting for that so we can send you your prize. Congratulations to She and congratulations to Jeremy. Congratulations to our winners. And thank you to everyone else for joining this game. Now I'll be moving on to my other announcements. Stay on top of our insights and updates. Stay connected with Ariva Academy. You can join Ariva Academy's Facebook group. You can also like Ariva Academy's Facebook page. You can follow us in LinkedIn. And also you can check out our website, ariva.com.ph. And just in case, because I still saw a lot of answers in the chat box and live stream, just in case you were not able to join the Ariva Academy Viber community, you can do that right now. Scan the QR code. That's very easy. Or click the link that we're posting in the chat box so that the next time you join an Ariva Academy webinar, you can be a part of our game by joining the Ariva Academy Viber community. But aside from the games, you will also be learning a lot if you're part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. Okay, so looking forward to seeing all of you there. Now, for those of you who might have missed the other free live webinars that we offered, we started last 2020. Okay, so there's a lot of the free live webinars already. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channels, Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. We have Ariva Academy Speakers Bureau. One of our speakers there is Coach Suzette. So for those of you who are interested in inviting her to conduct an in-house training, to conduct this specific program for everyone in your company or for your team, we can help you out with that. So just give us a call or send us an email and we'll help you partner with the right speaker under Ariva Academy Speakers Bureau for whatever topic it is that you will need. Now, let me invite you to some of our upcoming learning events. Here are some of them. We have another free live webinar that will happen tomorrow, March 8th. And the topic that we have tomorrow is the employee relations revolution, why it matters, and 24 game-changing strategies to improve it. We have effective delegation techniques for getting work done. That is on March 12th. March 14, conducting successful organization and HR audit. March 20, essential foundations for HR administrative professionals. March 21, coaching and mentoring skills for optimum performance. Also on the same day, computerized accounting system for top withholding agents. We have another free live webinar on March 22 this time. Future-proofing your supply chain, 24 strategies for success. On April 2, 24 powerful communication strategies for administrative assistants. Still, it's a free live webinar. On April 3, negotiation skills for labor relations, techniques for successful collective bargaining and conflict resolution. The power of HR analytics, that is our topic on April 12. Still on the same day, April 12, credit and collection strategies that work. April 17, advanced MS Excel training. April 18, supervisory leadership excellence, essential skills and proficiencies for great supervisors. On April 19, strategic performance and compensation management. April 24, empowering and inspiring millennials and Gen Z, strategies for effective workplace engagement. On April 24, master cognitive biases and improve your critical thinking. On April 25, high impact business writing mastery. Now on May 22, I'm inviting everyone to be a part of the Procurement and Sourcing Summit, Building Resilient Supply Chains. And the following day, May 23 and 24, we're bringing this back on site, the 12th Secretaries and Administrative Professionals Summit. And this will be in SMX Convention Center, Aura, in Taguig. So join us. Again, that's May 23 to 24 already. And we've already have the dates, the final dates for the coming Philippine HR Congress 2024. And it will be on September 11 to 12, and it will be in SMX Convention Center, MOA in Pasay. Again, the dates are September 11 to 12. So block those dates already or register as early as now. Philippine HR Congress 2024. And there you have it. I won't be taking much of your time anymore. I'll be giving the floor back to our speaker, Coach Suzette.
Thank you, Ms. Kate, and congratulations to all the winners during the games. And yes, we have a lot of courses for you to choose from.
Yes.
Got your schedules now. And while I am preparing my slide, can you type in the chat box your key takeaway from our topics or the topics that were discussed a while ago? Can you type
before we went on break? Yes. So type it in here in the chat box. The Eustress, the types of stress. Eustress and distress. That's from Jamie and Jeanette. A lot of them are typing in Eustress and distress. Pressure and stress. Vigor, the meaning of vigor, probably that's it. 5 senses, chronic stress, eustress, and distress. This is from Merlinda. Stress is inevitable. You just have to deal with it correctly and confidently. Wow.
Mental health continuum is there. Thank you.
Psychosocial needs also is there.
Great. Maslow's hierarchy is there. Yes, so we learned a lot, and I'm giving you more. It's 3:05, and now we'll be focusing on how are we now going to go about it, diba, Ms. Kate? But first, I would like to show you a fun video of what usually happens when we allow ourselves to be in that chronic stress phase. No? Lahat na lang ine-entertain niyo lahat ng stress. You stay there. Sabi nga kanina, tinambayan mo. Hindi ka gumawa ng paraan para ayusin. This is what usually happens. Watch this video. Ano po ang nangyari? What happened to that man? Any guesses? Ano nangyari sa kanya? Iniip po ng pressure tipo ba? Hindi na ilabas, hindi ginawan ng paraan. Super stress, nag-mental breakdown, hindi kinaya, anger, burnout, lahat na naramdaman niya. Pwede rin naisip ko, pwede rin ang nangyari ay na natin dito. At ayaw mag-play. Ayan. Okay. Pwede rin nag-ring ang telepono sabay-sabay. Di kaya alam ko anong unang sasagutin. Well, sometimes we do that. Remember, if you look back, and gagawa mo yan araw-araw, hindi mo malaman kung anong unahin mo, it causes stress, it causes fatigue, right? Emails, tons of emails, pumutok ang fuse. Nabuang na, okay? Naburyong na. But sometimes when you are given your a performance evaluation, minsan hindi tayo handa. We're unable to prepare for it. For probably areas for improvement that's being shared to us. Now, I have a question to you. How are you feeling right now? Can you type in A, B, C, or D? Just checking in. Okay. How are you feeling right now? C. Wow, calm. Ang daming C. Kalmado lang. Kalma. Okay. A lot of you are typing in here. C. Good. Okay, happy, although wala sa choices, okay din yan. C and D, great. Not really seeing a lot of A and B, that's a good sign. Now, going back to psychosocial strain, so some of you mentioned that you appreciated that. I just want to reiterate that you have to have a balance of both. Tamang timpla ng self-needs, binibigay mo sa sarili mo, and also social needs. Kasi kung hindi, magkaroon ng imbalance, ito na yung mararamdaman natin or what we call as psychosocial strains. We have one stress, na-overwhelm tayo sa mga nangyayari. Pwede rin naman anxious tayo. We feel stress over simple things, simple problems, simple concerns, okay? What else? Boredom, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Nawawalan ka na ng interest sa ginagawa mo. Could also be depression, a mood disorder that has been affecting a lot of people nowadays. Merong persistent feeling of sadness. Nawawalan ka na rin ng interest, gumawa ng mga bagay-bagay that before naman usually interests you. Meron din naman yung psychosocial strain. Another form would be fear. Lagi natin iniisip na ako hindi lang tayo gagalaw kasi dangerous pag ginawa natin ng isang bagay. Or magkakamali tayo kung ginawa natin ng isang bagay. And fear is fine, but if some of the definitions that I really have as favorite would be yung what it stands for. So sabi nila, ang fear daw kasi, these are false events appearing real. Hindi pa nga nangyayari, kinakatakutan mo na. Hindi pa nga nangyayari, hindi mo sure kung kakayanin mo yung trabaho, nag-no ka na agad. Hindi mo sure kung makakabuti ba to sa career mo, sa pamilya mo. Hindi ka nagagalaw. What we call analysis paralysis as well. Minsan sa sobra natin kaiisip, while it's nice to assess things, pag minsan sobra tayong mag-isip, mag-stress over something that we fail to come up with a decision, yun yung tinatawag natin analysis paralysis. Wala ka nang magawa. Nahinto ka na doon sa pag-a-analyze sa mga bagay-bagay. Kaya natatagalin rin tayo sa pag-experience ng stress na yon. So let's talk about the common stressors that you have at work. Aside from the deadlines, the targets, ano ba ang common stressors that you have at work? Meron diyang mga reklamo. Ano ba? Kulang ang leave ko. Paano pag nagka-COVID ako? Ano pa? Ay nako, mahihiwalay ako na destino ako sa Cebu. Kala mo naman ng matagal, 5 araw lang, but you're stressing over that stuff. Ano pa? Chismosang workmates. Employee relations. High absenteeism katrabaho. Paano kung ma-demote? Ayan, yan yung mga... Kaya sabi nga sa neuro-linguistic programming, yung subconscious natin, kahit hindi natin yan sinasabi, napaka-powerful. Pag sinabi ko sa inyo, think of a lechon. Naisip nyo ba? Naisip nyo, di ba? Kaya minsan nga kahit ganun ka-powerful ang mind natin eh. Don't think of a lechon, may isip mo, lechon. Ganun ka-powerful ang mind natin. Also with the words that we use is very important. Ano pa? Public scrutiny. If you are in public service is another one. Yeah. Kaya ano pa? Why can't I sleep? Kulang ako sa tulog. Paano, how can I get along with my team? How can I provide for my family? Eto na naman tayo. Iba-iba na namang tao ang makakasalumuhan natin. So this thoughts that you're entertaining causes a lot of stress. Now, just to get your thoughts on this, if, for example, you visited the bank and then ganito kahaba ang pila, what's your best reaction? Mamadali ka, punta ka sa bangko, ganyan kahaba yung pila. What's your best reaction on this situation? Lipat, wait. May galit na, ano pa? Better luck next time. Maghihintay, balik na lang. Balik bukas. Okay, that's the best reaction. What about a worst reaction? What could be a worst reaction? Bad trip, plan B. Okay, maganda, no? Parang best reaction ng plan B. Magsaskandal ako doon. Ano ba? Bakit ba hindi nag-work yung queuing system ninyo? What about traffic? What's your worst reaction sa traffic? Magwa-walk out, mangungulit, magdadabog. Okay? What about traffic? What's your worst reaction? Mag-MRT, sisimangot, magpapaypay, aawahin ng driver. Grabe mga reaction. What about naman is your best reaction? What's your best reaction? Matutulog. Okay. Namagaan itutulog, makikinig ng music, sound trip, yes. What about the last time? Walang internet. What's your worst reaction? Walang internet. Bored, okay lang. Ay, gusto ko yung okay lang. Ibig sabihin, marami pang pwedeng gawin. Play outside, go to the mall, magmuni-muni, tama. What's your best reaction? Some of the best reactions are there. So why did I ask you that? Because I want you to believe that stress is harmful when you believe that it is harmful. Pag naniniwala kang nakakasama siya sa iyo, ay talagang makakasama siya sa iyo. Now, there's been a study here from the University of Wisconsin. It says here, people were at an increased risk of dying when they had a lot of stress in their lives. At given that, sino ba dito ang gusto mamatay na maaga? Wala. So let's start managing our stress and not allow ourselves to experience chronic stress and get back that vigor that we once had. Stress toolbox for you, we have what we call the sunny set of mind. Let's start with that first. When we talk about sunny set of mind, Omar Itani is the author of this book, and he said something about focusing on what you can control. So even if you do not like the situation that you're in, you can choose to accept it. You accept it of how it is, what it is, and then you focus on the things that you can control. So meron siya sinasabi dito na 4 na quadrant daw. When you are stressed, you can either be in quadrant 1. So sabi ni Jocelyn, let us not worry on things that we cannot control, correct. So what Mr. Itani is saying that quadrant number 4 is the most ideal. Yun yung tinatawag niyang sunny set of mind. But there are times that we practice or stay in quadrant 1, or what we call wasting energy. Madalas, ang binibigyan mong focus ay yung hindi mo makontrol. Wala ka namang magagawa, ba't mo pa yun pag-aaksaya ng panahon? So let's say, meron ka, kung nasa procurement ka, meron kang supplier na lagi na lang delayed mag-deliver ng mga supplies. So ano ang mga thoughts natin when we are at quadrant 1? Kasi naman dapat talaga magbagong buhay na yung supplier na yan. Hindi mo naman makokontrol yun, hindi mo naman madedemand yun, di ba? Tanggalin ang supplier. Look for a different supplier. Okay, so those are the things that you can control. So wag yung mga hindi mo makokontrol kasi ang tawag dyan ay wasting energy. You are wasting your energy on factors that will not help you move forward. Meron din yung tawag na quadrant 2. Ito naman yung praning, as we call it in Tagalog. That's when does this happen? When you ignore naman what's not in your control. Hindi nga nasa control mo, pero pwede mo naman siyang i-influence. Pero you choose to ignore it. You're in denial of the negative things that is happening, which shouldn't be the case. Kung alam mo na, kagaya ng pandemic, wala namang may alam kung ano ba yung sakit na yan. Porkit ba Porkit ba, okay, wala ka na magagawa doon, wala kang gagawin. Hindi, di ba? Lahat tayo, sabay-sabay tayo nag-research, lahat tayo nung nagkaroon ng booster shots, lahat tayo, pinag-aralan natin yan. Minsan nga, kahit di tayo sigurado, sige, basta maging safe lang ako, let's do that. So don't ignore what's not in your control. Tignan natin mabuti, ano ang pwede, hindi ko to makontrol, but can I influence it? Third quadrant, we call it wasting opportunity. Ito naman, you ignore what's in your control. Sayang ang oportunidad. Magiging unreasonable ka lang dahil pwedeng ayaw mo siyang gawin, tamad kang gawin. Okay? Could be work-related, could be family-related. Hindi rin maganda. Ang gusto natin, yung quadrant 4, wherein you focus on what's within your control and really being intentional about how your mind works, your attitude, your thought process, and how you spend your energy. Okay? And it's saying to yourself, okay, nakakainis itong sitwasyon na to. Paulit-ulit na lang akong binibigyan ng stress. Ano ba ang pwede kong gawin dito? Kasi pag pinagbaliwala nyo rin yan, pag gising nyo bukas, nandun pa rin naman yan. So what Mr. Itani is saying is for us to focus on quadrant 4. Focus on the things that is in your control. Okay? So whenever you find yourself drifting off, papunta ka na dun sa entertaining negative thoughts that's giving you chronic stress, causing chronic stress, depression, burnout, fatigue, tanongin niyo yung sarili niyo, what is worrying me ba? Ano ba yung makokontrol ko? Ano ba yung, what matters to me if I do this? So this is the sunny set of mind practice by Mr. Itani. The next also framework that I want you to be familiar with is what we call the Perma framework. So what this framework is telling us is that for us to have a healthy well-being, we must exude or mag-i-invest tayo to have positive emotions even when we are faced with challenging situations. There's also engagement, positive relationships, ano pa, finding meaning in what you do, and also accomplishments. So pag sinabi nating accomplishments, we are achieving our goals, okay? We are not questioning ourselves. Pag sinabi naman natin meaning, hanap kayo ng mga bagay na mag-motivate sa'yo pag ginagawa nyo. Kaya nga napakaganda ng commercial na Nescafe, di ba? Ano yung tagline doon? Tagline ng Nescafe. I believe that's Nescafe. Sabi, para kanino ka gumigising sa umaga, di ba? So yun yung finding meaning in what you do. Of course, positive relationships, of course, hindi naman tayo, we humans are social creatures. Mas maganda na matuto rin tayo makisalamuha sa iba and really breed personal, positive relationships. So may mga katanungan lang ako dito, and kung kayo ang nasa sitwasyon na yan, what would be your answer to have a healthy well-being? Ay, mabilisan. Marie, a unit manager, was all set to roll out an innovative way of connecting with clients abroad. Halimbawa, no? Specifically the OFWs. At the day of the scheduled meeting, okay, to have a healthy well-being, rather, to focus on positive emotions, how should you handle such situation if you are Maries? Okay. Meron ka na i-roll out, okay. Tuturuan mo sila paano mag-connect ng mga clients abroad. Specifically, the OFWs. Pero nung day, nagagawin mo na yun, nagka-problema. How now would you be able to frame your mind to have a healthy well-being? Let's see here. You're answering B. Think and appreciate the 5 agents who attended and set another schedule for this. Yes, makukontrol mo ba yun? Yes. Kaysa maging upset ka, mas kawawa ka lang, ikaw pa yung mas stress, ikaw pa yung mababurn out. And in terms of in terms of taking action, wala kang nagawang solusyon. Tama? Okay. There. Okay, what is this? Okay, there. What about E? This is the scenario. During the pandemic, you developed a new hobby, which is photography. Sino dito yung mga natuto talagang ventured in photography? Diba? A lot of us, yung iba naman nagplantita. You reserved your weekend for this hobby. However, due to the low level alert in the city, you are now required to slowly go back to your old way of doing work. Na nangyayari na ngayon, namimiss natin lahat ang work from home. To have a healthy well-being throughout the engagement, what would be your response to Anna if you were Romel? A. Rant to your colleagues how upset you are. Give up photography and work yourself to sleep, or find time to pursue your hobby. Good answer. So ito yung engagement na sinasabi. Yung finding meaning na sinasabi natin. Okay? R. You are the unit manager, let's say at Madison, and a lot of brokers and agents are airing their concerns about the difficulty of processing permits during the pandemic. To have a healthy well-being, ano yung gagawin natin? Pwede rin naman hindi during the pandemic, pwede ngayon. Meron ka nang alam mo na prosesong gagawin, biglang humirap pala. So ano ang pipiliin natin to have a healthy well-being? You are choosing B. Let's see. Hear them out and analyze what's causing the delay in processing the permit. Look for ways on how to fast-track the processing of permit. Good job. Rather than mag-express ka ng anger, may masabi ka pa na hindi mo gusto, hindi mo sinasadya, diba? Meaning, you are a direct seller, let's say at a Golden Pile, it's really in your DNA to sell. However, the past few months, you're not feeling it anymore. You're waking up every day, rather demotivated and stressed. Para gumanda ang healthy well-being ninyo, anong pinakamagandang gawin? Let's see. Your answer is B. Go back to your why and feel that zest, motivation, and confidence. You know, this really worked for me. Minsan, pagod na pagod ka na, pero pag nakikita mo yung anak mo, ngumingiti sa'yo, every time you bring her to trips, parang nawawala lahat ng pagod mo. So, tignan na rin ninyo yung why ninyo, the reason why you're doing your job, why you apply for that job. Okay. Next one would be A, accomplishments, transitioning from a face-to-face heavy work environment to a work-from-home arrangement requires you to pivot and pivot quickly. Kailangan mag-adapt tayo kung may mga situations na hindi tayo sanay i-handle. Tapos, or nagbago. So, ano ang magandang gawin dito? You are answering E. Let's see. You keep the ground running by leveling up your project management skills and start working on transitioning the team smoothly. Suma total niyan, you have to be proactive. You have to always focus what's within your control. Enough of the blaming, enough of excuses, but more of moving forward, achieving your goals. Simpleng-simple lang yung next step natin, tinatawag natin HBRT process. So what does that stand for? So H stands for halt. Ano ibig sabihin ng halt? Stop, pause. Master the art of stopping, of pausing. And while you're doing that, so meron tayong framework na pwede nyo gamitin dito. Of course, we would be having time. You can take a screenshot of this. Pause, take time to assess, ano ba yung nagbibigay sa akin ng intense pressure? Ano ba ang kailangan na gawin ko or sino ba yung mga involved kaya ako nararamdaman itong feeling na ito? Ano yung madalas kong na-experience? So this one you could use. Next is you must know B stands for breathe or proper breathing. You must know how to breathe properly. So there is what we call the 4-7-8 exercise. Just watch this 2-minute video.
All right, class, let me ask you something. When you're nervous or afraid, what is your breathing like?
I guess I breathe faster.
Yeah, me too.
Yup. Right, you tend to take short, quick, shallow breaths that make you feel worse. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to take long, slow, deep breaths that will help you calm down when you feel nervous or afraid. And if you practice this breathing exercise regularly, you will be able to train Whittle to be calmer.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
This is called 4-7-8 breathing. So you want to start out by sitting straight up like this. Now, a lot of times when we breathe in from our chests, up here. But today we're going to breathe from a lot lower, from our diaphragm. What? Your diaphragm is right here, by your stomach. Think of it as a balloon underneath your rib cage. Oh, okay. First, you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Take a...
Okay. So it seems like something is blocking there. Let me see and check that.
Yes, it was a white screen
Okay.
in front of the video.
Okay. Let me check now.
Alright, class, let me ask you something. When you're nervous or afraid, what is your breathing like?
I guess I breathe faster.
Yeah, me too.
Yup. Right, you tend to take short, quick, shallow breaths that make you feel worse. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to take long, slow, deep breaths that will help you calm down when you feel nervous or afraid. And if you practice this breathing exercise regularly, you will be able to train Whittle to be calmer.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
All together.
This is called 4-7-8 breathing. So you want to start out by sitting straight up like this. Now, a lot of times when we breathe in from our chests, up here. But today we're going to breathe from a lot lower, from our diaphragm. What? Your diaphragm is right here, by your stomach. Think of it as a balloon underneath your rib cage. Oh, okay. First, you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Take a long, deep breath like you're filling up that balloon in your stomach. Then we're going to hold it for 7 seconds. And finally, we're going to slowly exhale through our mouths for 8 seconds. Pretend like there's a tiny hole in the balloon, and all the air is escaping from your mouth. Ready to try it all together now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, no. Let me take a deep breath first. Okay. Ready. Great. Everyone sit straight up. You can follow along with us if you like. Now, take a deep breath through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now hold that breath for 7 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excellent. Now slowly release that breath for a count of 8 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job, guys.
Okay. So probably some of you might be having a hard time doon sa 8 part or sa holding your breath for 7 seconds. Okay lang. Practicing nyo muna. Pwedeng 5 muna and then breathe out for 6. But that one is the ideal number of seconds. So keep on practicing the correct way of breathing. Next, you have to rewrite. Ano kaya i-rewrite natin? Given the topics that we've discussed a while ago, we must know how to what? Rewrite our thoughts. Rewrite our thoughts? How? Marami kasi tayong tinatawag na common thought distortions. So ito, pwede natin itong screenshot para at least alam natin meron mga thinking or thought process pala tayo that adds up to pressure. Meron yung, ay kailangan ko nang gawin to. Kung hindi, lagot ako bukas. O kaya, lahat naman dito sa trabaho natin, pare-pareho lang ng kakayahan. So, ba't pa ako magagawa ng ibang paraan? So, itong mga thought distortions na to, ang nakaka-add up pa sa stress natin. So, this is some of the sample statements are there also. You can take a screenshot of it. So rewrite it. So instead of saying, halimbawa lang, it's either I sleep now or I will be grumpy the whole day. Parehong negative lose, right? What's a great way of rephrasing that statement? Anyone? Instead of saying, i-rewrite natin yung thoughts natin. It's either I sleep now or I will be grumpy the whole day. How can you rephrase that? Sleep now so that I feel great the whole day. It's perfect, Danilo. Simplihan lang naman si Rodolfo, sabi niya refresh. So that's a better way of rewriting your thoughts. Andiyan naman lahat ng pwede nating mga examples of common thought distortions. And this one was for the sunny set of mind. The most important thing for every one of us here to do is to take action. So if you're feeling that you're experiencing chronic stress and yung vigor natin about life, about work in general, nawawala or bumababa na, gawan natin ang paraan. Aside from the techniques that I have mentioned to you, like grounding and all, we could also be focusing on how to solve problems, how to really face the challenges by identifying the problem. Okay? Ano ba ang nagkukos nitong problemang to? Problem solving, basic problem solving. Kasi lalong nag-i-intensify ang stress natin pag hindi natin sinosolve yung problema that's causing our stress. Decide on a solution, plan of action, be proactive in solving the concerns that's causing your stress. And the last technique that I'll be sharing with you as a certified emotional freedom technique practitioner, I want you to be empowered so that you'd be able to empower others. Sabi nga nila, when I do my speech sa aeroplano, kung kayo, I'm sure lahat naman tayo nakasakay na ng aeroplano, merong part doon, or some of you might have not yet experienced, pero kasi merong part doon that you are asked to don this mask, di ba? Hindi naman sinasabi doon na unahin ninyo yung katabi ninyo pag nagkaroon ng decompression. So what we're saying there is, in case of decompression, we need you to put your mask first before assisting others. So ito, emotional freedom technique, when I was certified to do this, if you look at it, parang simple lang siya, but a lot of people are doing it wrongly. So I'll be teaching you the right way to do it. Para mapakita ko lang sa inyo how effective this is, watch this video lang.
During COVID, so I was around a lot of people, so I was nervous to be around my kids, so I quarantined away from them, and I had both doors open where I was staying, and I was doing this sort of tapping meditation thing that I do.
A bit nervous? Yeah. I did it, though. Well, who can blame him? Last time he set foot in his cab, he had a massive panic attack. It's meant to be the most horrible feeling.
It is. But I'm sure I'll be fine.
Well, you've got all them techniques, haven't you, that your therapist taught you? Yeah, breathing and tapping your pressure points.
For me, as an observer of my own feelings, it's mind-blowing.
I feel scared and angry. Still love and respect.
On stage.
And how did they manifest themselves?
You would sit there, you'd suddenly, it's a horrible feeling. You can't breathe, you start going cold and hot, tunnel vision, and panic, that flight or fight panic thing. But all the while trying to appear like you're able to do your lines and able to, it's terrifying.
How did you get over that?
Found this tapping technique.
Is this your own invention?
No, it was actually told to me by Stephen Gately, God rest his soul, from Boyzone.
I'm dying to know if anyone has told you about this in your college days in Major League Baseball. According to some of the players in the Beavers dugout, what Jorge Reyes was doing with tapping was he was just kind of realigning the energy and so forth around he was told, actually, like a psychologist or consultant came in and spoke. It's kind of...
Okay, so it's all about realigning your energy. A lot of celebrities are there attesting to the efficacy of this technique. So I'll be sharing it with you. So this was just to show you the certification that I have undergone. Ito, pinag-aralan talaga namin the proper way of doing EFT, or what we call the emotional freedom technique, which has really been very helpful for me. Simpleng-simple lang ito. Who's familiar with acupressure, acupuncture? Type in me if you are. Are you familiar with it? Or meron na bang naka-experience nito? Okay, meron. Parang ganun ang gagawin natin. That's the idea behind it. But instead of using the different or various pressure points in our body, magko-concentrate lang tayo dito sa mga pressure points na ito. Each step is important. Hindi siya pwedeng go directly into tapping. Okay? So meron siyang proseso. So each time you tap the point, you can see here the EFT tapping points, you will accompany it by acknowledging kung ano ba yung cause ng stress mo or yung negative emotion mo, or could even be pain that you're feeling at the moment. Now, the next step would be verbalizing it. Okay? So, verbalizing it of what you want it, how you want it changed. So, kung kanina stress ka, nafe-feel mo yung distress, now, what you want to happen is to turn that feeling into a feeling of positivity. So, tsaka mo, next round na naman, gagawin yung what emotion would you want to feel at that time. So, just to review, for the first part of the tapping, it's programming your body, your mind that, hey, this is stressing me out, or I am angry, or I am depressed, I'm sad. I'm experiencing chronic stress. For this particular situation, an example lang natin dito would be distress. And then the next cycle of the top tapping would be reframing it to what you want, what emotion would you want to feel. So very quickly, the first step is what you call the karate chop. And this is the setup round. Ito yung sinasabi mo sa body and mind mo na, okay, I'm experiencing negativity. So if you can just follow me, imitate what you see on the slide. 2 fingers, could be 3, could be 4, and then tap this point. Karate chop siya kasi pag nagkakarate ka, ito yung point na ginagamit mo. So tap that, okay? And then since this is the setup round, ang statement natin dito would be, there is this distress that I am feeling, or I'm feeling distress right now, or this is frustration that I'm feeling. Okay? So while saying that, itatap mo. This is the setup round. And then, pagka nagtinatap nyo, make sure naman that there's a little bit of force. Huwag naman yung parang wala man lang force, di ba? Dagdagan lang ng konting force. May vigor, yan. Next one would be, the first tapping point would be here. So you can see here. This is what we call the sequence round. Yung isa, the setup round, what we did, this one is what we call the sequence round. Dito mo na ina-acknowledge yung negative emotion. So, sasabihin mo yun. Let's say here. This distress that I'm feeling right now. This distress that I'm feeling right now. Let's all do that. Okay, pwedeng 2, pwedeng 3, at least 7 times. Now, I don't want you to be focusing on the number of times that you tap it. Mas gusto ko na mag-focus tayo dun sa bina-verbalize natin. So, this is the first tapping point. After that would be the one beside the eyes. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. This distress that I'm feeling right now. This distress that I'm feeling right now. Keep on doing that. And then the next point would be here, under the eyes. This distress that I am feeling right now, or I am in distress right now. Pwede rin nyo rin Tagalogin pag mas komportable kayo para lang ma-acknowledge ng katawan ninyo yung nararamdaman. Okay? And then next tapping point would be here. Okay? So let's tap that. 7 times while verbalizing what you feel. This distress that I'm feeling right now. This distress that I'm feeling right now. And then we're almost done. 3 more. Dito naman sa chin. This distress that I'm feeling right now. This distress that I'm feeling right now. And here, the collarbone. This distress that I'm feeling right now. This distress that I'm feeling right now. Okay, dito. Next one. Just, the bra line, that part, we do that. This distress that I'm feeling right now. And the last part would be here. This distress that I'm feeling right now. Now, syempre, hindi natin pwedeng huminto doon kasi naka-register na sa body natin yon. So again, starting all over again, you will verbalize it in the way you want or what emotions you want to feel. So, syempre, kabaliktaran ng distress, you want it to be stress-free, you want it to be to feel more positivity, and so you verbalize it. So, this feeling of distress at work turning into feeling of positivity. So, pwede nyo rin iklian, di ba? So, balik tayo dun sa una. This feeling of distress is turning into a feeling of positivity. This feeling of distress is turning to a feeling of positivity. Stop. This feeling of distress is turning to a feeling of positivity. Okay. This feeling of distress is turning to a feeling of positivity. Okay. Next stop. This feeling of distress is turning into a feeling of positivity. And the last one, and here we go, color down. This feeling of distress is turning into feeling of positivity. Then here we go, the next one. This feeling of distress is turning to a feeling of positivity. And the last one would be here. This feeling of distress is turning into a feeling of positivity. And then you have to go back to the first step, karate chop. And then this feeling of distress is turning to a feeling of positivity. Now, when you are tapping, sa unang tapping nyo, setup round, dapat alam nyo yung intensity ng stress na nararamdaman ninyo. Pag, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10, nasa 5 ka ba? 6? Para pagkatas mo gawin, after we finish the sequence round, and then you get to do the setup phase again, it should be lower now. Now, don't be discouraged. Pag ma'am, parang wala namang iba. Kasi it takes also practice. Hindi naman minsanan na okay na tayo agad. So, it takes practice and also the proper mindset. So, my challenge to everyone is for you to be able to make the right choice on how to perceive things. And before we end, of course, this workshop, I would like to leave you with what a famous physiologist mentioned, Miss Chelsea Ariu, and she said that stress acts as our accelerator. It can move us forward or it can move us backwards. But the beauty there is that we get to choose which direction. So we have to make the right choice. Thank you everyone for joining me and of course Ariva today for this talk on combating chronic stress and having that vigor back into our life. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Coach Suzette. Now, we will be answering some questions. I received some questions already. Here are a few of them. Coach?
Sure. Sige.
Okay. Coach, is it possible that you are already stressed, but you're not really aware of it yet? I think she's talking about distress here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. Kagaya nga nang nangyari sa akin, the first story that I mentioned a while ago, I wasn't aware that I was really stressed, but it manifested. Nag-manifest siya na, oh my God, nagka-hives ako. Yun pala, subconsciously, ini-entertain ko pala yung thought na, ano kayong mangyari sa operation? Kahit na hindi ko ina-expect na, oh, I'm really allowing myself pala to be stressed. So, my answer to your question is yes. There are times you're not aware that you're under stress, but then it will be manifested physically. It can be manifested physically.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. Next question. Let me just... Okay. Coach, does lack of having break, is it a factor that can really lead to fatigue?
Yes. Overworking, not giving time for yourself to re-energize can cause a lot of stress. Remember, let's go back to MHN, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Diba, nasa pinaka first win, physiological needs natin. Kailangan natin yan. And all of the needs that are in that hierarchy should be met. So my answer there is yes.
Okay, thank you. Last two questions. This one, I'm an HR officer. What can I do to address and prevent this from happening for our employees? The stress.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the first, no matter what position you have, di ba? Kung HR man tayo or sa anong department man tayo, it's nice to, number one, share to them what you've learned now. Especially EFT techniques, that's very helpful. You could also share with them the Perma framework, so they would know how to manage that, to have a healthy well-being. And of course, the HBRT method. You could share this with the team. And I'm sure that a lot of them are not really familiar with this yet. And not to mention, the sunny set of mind is also a very good one. You know, focusing on the things that we can control.
Okay, thank you. And the last question, I think this one's really personal. How do I deal with a coworker who's always having panic attack or anxiety attack?
Okay, so now that you attended this webinar, you are in a better position to give, or share the things that you've learned here. However, ensure that when you give this or when you share the things that you've learned here, you may be able to deliver it in such a way na you're not acknowledging it or you're assuming na nagpa-panic attack siya. You get what I'm saying? You have to talk to her first, o kamustahin siya, and not just, uy, alam mo, nag-attend ako ng webinar, you should do this. It's more of talking to her, what's bothering her. Okay, ganun talaga. Maganda rin na minsan we act as coaches, diba? Tungkol sa, when people from the workplace feel that way.
Okay. And I think may pahabol tayo na question, Coach. This one's really nice. This is from John Irvin here in Zoom. What specific activities should an organization employ in order to maintain the stress levels at a minimum? Okay.
One would be, what I suggest is to having what we call morning check-ins. Or tinatawag natin, kung organization ninyo, spare at least 20 minutes just to check in, not really talking about work first. Kamusta na lang muna tayo. That could be a good practice. Also, another suggestion would be allotting a quick question time for your workmates. Diba, what causes us and stress also when we are in our organization is that yung mga paunti-unting punta sa atin, tanong dito, tanong doon, tas nahihirapan na tayo to get through our daily tasks. If you could practice having or telling your teammates or letting them know ano yung oras where you could entertain quick questions para hindi ka na stress na mamaya, okay, wala na ako natapos kasi puro na lang tanong ang binibigay niyo sa akin. And lastly, just like what I've mentioned a while ago, the EFT technique, HBRT, make it a part of your exercises in the organization. You could do that, let's say, during lunch or AM break or PM break. Yes, there are actually a lot of things, but those are the things that you could that I recommend and suggest you do.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And that ends the Q&A portion. I just would like to remind everyone that we posted the link already for the feedback form here in the chat box. So please help us by evaluating this program. Just fill out that form and then submit it back to us. Thank you so much. That will also ensure that you will be receiving your e-certificate. And now, Coach would like to present you with the certificate. Let me read this. Ariva Academy Learning Development at its finest gratefully presents the Certificate of Appreciation To Suzette C. Siapno for imparting her professional expertise, valuable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as resource speaker during the conduct of online learning session entitled Combating Chronic Stress, Achieving Vigor to Overcome Burnout and Fatigue, given the 7th day of March 2024 via Zoom conference, signed by J.M. Matienzo, Chairman and Chief Strategist, Learning Event Producer, and Michelle Irish Malonda Samson, President and Chief Learning and Development Strategist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for our speaker, Coach Suzette.
Thanks, everyone.
Maraming salamat, Coach Suzette. We really learned a lot from you this afternoon. And now, let's invite all of our participants to join us for this group photo. So please make sure your cameras are turned on. Turn on your cameras. And then get ready for our group photo. So let me call on our technical director, Direct Dana. Please help us out.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Miss Kate. All right, everyone, again, please join us and open your cameras for our 2 shots of group photo. Is everyone ready? All right, for our first shot, can you show us your big, bright smiles? And show us those white teeth, everyone. All right, in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Thank you so much. And for the second one, I'd like everyone to please do a post that I think everyone would agree describes today's webinar and the signature pose, of course, of Coach Suzette. Everyone, please let's do the success pose. Please 2 thumbs up. Show us 2 thumbs up, please. All right, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. There we go. Thank you so much again, everyone. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you so much, Direct Dana. Again, thank you so much, Coach Suzette, and to all of our participants. Thank you for being with us this whole afternoon, and thank you for being very interactive, for being very participative. We really appreciate the interaction we had with you, and we're looking forward to having you again in our future learning events. Thank you. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Ariva Academy would like to thank the following win-win partners. Official media partner, Art Plus Magazine. Digital media partners, Focus Media, the largest digital out-of-the-home advertising network in the Philippines. Globaltronics, leading digital innovation. City Advertising Ventures Corporation, we move your brand. Outcome, Elevate Media. Ariva Academy would also like to thank the following companies. Brother, at your side. Faber-Castell, Glutus C, Moringa O2, KFC, it's finger licking good, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Lotus Biscoff, Finma Properties, making room to build your future, Creative Voices, Certified Voice Artist Program, Mighty Tech Advertising and Merchandising, Le Jardin Printing Services, Purple Rockstar, be on top, stay on top, Business Mirror, a broader look at today's business, SMNI, Truth That Matters, Major Sponsor, Payday Solutions, a bridge company.